As you can see by the posters on the wall, we are visiting the Oxford Film Fest office. This is like really cool. I've got Miss Melanie here with me. I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell you what her job is.
Hey, I'm Melanie Addington, and I'm Executive Director of the Oxford Film Festival. I mostly work in this little box office year-round, answering emails and calling people and watching movies. And then they let me out for a week, once a year, to show movies at the Malco Commons and all over Oxford, Mississippi. 208 movies this year from all over the world. We're really excited.
You said there's one international?
Oh no, we have 14 countries represented, I believe. At least there's quite a few. I think definitely Canada, Afghanistan, Japan. Yeah, there's a bunch. I don't have them all memorized yet. I wish I did.
Last year, the Ghostlight was the premiere. Mm-hmm. What's this year's premiere?
This year, actually, we're doing something a little different. It is the 30th anniversary of Pump Up the Volume, starring Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis. And it was a pinnacle movie for teens of my age. And so since we were turning 17 and it was turning 30, I thought, let's put us together and do a fun opening night that's a little different. So the director and the producer will be there, and there's some other surprises I can't tell anyone. So
of the larger movies, the full-length movies, what are some of those?
Yeah, so we have a really great film called Freeland, which is world premiering at South by Southwest, and then we're getting it right after. That's a narrative feature. We have another narrative feature I actually saw back in August in Dallas. So it's been on the circuit this year. It's called The In-Between, and it's about these two really interesting women on a road trip. One has a chronic illness. Actually, I'm sorry, both have a chronic illness of different types, and sort of how they still experience life while dealing with those issues. It's really funny and touching. Gosh, there's so many. We have a really fun world premiere of a Mississippi film called The Dinner Party. Miles Doliak, formerly of Hattiesburg, he just moved to New Orleans, but at the time they filmed it in the Mississippi, is world premiering, and that's going to be a crazy, weird late night movie. Not for everyone, but if you like weird stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of really great documentary features ranging in topics, but one might be for a lot of people if they like the Olympics. It's called Life in Synchro, and it's about synchronized ice skaters. It's really good. So that's a nice, fun one. Yeah, there's so many. There's really great Mississippi films this year. One's called The Evers, which is obviously about Murley and Medgar Evers, sort of their legacy and even now what Murley is doing. And then there is one called You Asked for the Facts, and that is about Robert Kennedy's visit to Ole Miss not long after integration. So that's a real interesting, lot of great footage. So that's really great. Yeah, there's just a ton. So
is there a multimedia presentation or exhibit this year like there was last year?
We are not doing a VR exhibit this year. There's actually a new VRcade here in Oxford, and so since it's here year-round now, we're not putting it on. We were doing it because we were sort of the only ones showcasing it, but now that it's here, we feel like it's established, so we're not presenting it.
Animations.
Sure, yeah. So we have too many good experimental films. We call it Fest Forward, and that's animation and experimental. So we actually broke it into two blocks. One is an animation block, which is your more traditional hand-drawn or digital, but it's more your traditional, what you think of as animation. The other block is called experimental block, but it has some animation in it as well, but it's a little more edgy and weird, to be honest. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely fun to experience. It's definitely about getting an emotion out of you rather than telling you a story. So it's something different. Yeah. Ace Atkins is a local author, and he writes these detective series that he actually took over for the original author, and they've made it into a Netflix movie. And it's premiering on Netflix a little before our festival, but we're actually going to do a theatrical screening of it with Ace. So I'm really excited about that, and there may be some special guests with that. The other thing is Alan Moyle, who is the director of Pump Up the Volume. The film he followed up Pump Up the Volume with 30 years ago was filmed here in Oxford. It's called The Gun and Betty Lou's Handbag. So we're going to actually show a screening of that, and then do a long talk with him, and then actually tour around the locations where he filmed. So that's going to be a really neat experience. Yeah. Yeah, so we noticed a trend this year is that Susan and Johnny McPhail, who are local to Oxford but are actors in lots of movies throughout the South, had a lot of films this year, and they were all really good. So we actually turned the community film block into the McPhail block this year, which they are loving it. And so it's not all local films, but they're all Southern films that they're in, including the community film that we produce each year. So we're really excited. And in fact, this year, the community film was made out of the winning short screenplay last year. So we loved the script so much that we turned it into a movie for them. Yeah, so we're excited about that.
Negro Terror took the Film Fest by storm last year.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Do y'all have anything like that in the music video blocks?
We saw a very low turnout of music videos this year, which was a little disappointing because we really love supporting Mississippi musicians. So we actually combined it with some pretty cool music docs. One is from Coop Cooper over in the Delta about the Blues Museum over there that is great. I don't think has had a documentary made about it. So it's sort of an untraditional block this year with a little bit of different stuff. And we're also jazzing it and a couple other screens up with some live music this year, which I'm very excited about. We started 2 years ago the new student block, which is traditionally it's high school and college mostly, and those are from all over the world. We have a college student from Iran that has a film in, and it's great. And then we also have some local students from the Ole Miss program. Nobody from ICC or the other schools submitted, unfortunately, so there's nothing really highlighted outside of that, and I really wish there were. So I'm going to do a better job reaching out and trying to get them involved more next year. But so the student block is sort of a mix of local and international films. And I think people really like coming out and supporting new voices. We also have students or recent graduates from different programs throughout Mississippi, actually just all in different competitive blocks. You asked for The Facts, which is the Robert Kennedy documentary, was actually an MFA student, Mary Blessy. She graduated and made this. So there's quite a bit of people that are local or were students that were local really involved throughout the festival. Yeah. You know, anything in the experimental is always curious and interesting. But the dinner party, we've paired with a short film called My Dinner with Werner. And it's about a somewhat historically true event that happened in Werner Herzog's life, although they definitely overly dramatize it. It's not exactly what really happened, but it's one of the most interesting films I've seen this year. You know, we have some controversial topics. There's a documentary called Our Bodies, Our Doctors, which is about abortion, which is always, we've had one a few years ago, and it always brings out people on a lot of different sides of that topic. So it usually gets emotional and sometimes heated. So we'll see how it goes this year. This film is just very, not really one-sided. It's very balanced. So I feel like everyone can kind of see their viewpoint in it, which is nice. But yeah, I don't know. I think we have a little more late night films that are a little weirder than normal. We normally have like one of those, and I think we have one Thursday night. There's one called Starlight, which is just kind of crazy. And then Friday we have My Dinner with Werner and The Dinner Party. And then we have another film. There's a filmmaker called Chris Moore who's from Mississippi, and he also has sort of a fun slasher flick. So there's a few weird ones for people that like that this year. Yeah, so Wednesday we kick off at 6 with the McPhail block, which used to be the community film block. And will be again eventually. It won't always be the McPhail block. And then we have hopefully a special Netflix screening later that night. Thursday, we actually have expanded. It's not just that evening with Pump Up the Volume. We have movies all over the Ole Miss campus for free all day. So there's a great film with the League of Women Voters called Win, Loser, Draw Straws, which is actually an very unknown fact about our voting process, that if there's a tie, you draw straws to decide who wins. Isn't that insane? I had no idea. It's an amazing documentary. So we're going to be doing that with a panel discussion. Charlie Mitchell, Curtis Wilkie, Marvin King, lots of great political science and journalism people will be discussing sort of what's coming up this year. Animation's going to be for free at the museum on campus that Thursday. Lots of stuff happening all over the campus Thursday. And then we do the big Pump Up the Volume premiere later that night. Not quite a midnight screening, a 10 p.m. screening, because we don't want to stay up till 2 a.m. Is the Starlight film. And then Friday, we've actually moved the bowling party because it's so popular to Friday. So we'll have movies all day starting at 9:30 a.m. until midnight and have our big bowling party, which is always really popular with pass holders. And then Saturday, movies again starting at 9:30 a.m. We have this great conversation with Angie Thomas, who's the author of The Hate You Give. She's actually from Jackson, Mississippi. And both things that she has written have gone to the New York Times bestseller list and then been turned into movies. So she's actually going to launch a new film production studio. So we're going to be talking to her about, transitioning over to film. Sunday, there's movies from 9:30 in the morning until our closer, which is about 6 p.m., is actually coming straight from Sundance. It's called The Evening Hour. And so in the spirit of opening the festival with the McPhails, we're actually closing the festival with the McPhails because Susan McPhail has a small role in this film. So we're really excited about that. It's a beautiful portrait of sort of Appalachian life, and I'm really excited to show it. So one thing that's really great is that we're going to be repeating a lot of the features. And so we're going to be using the Powerhouse, which the Yoknapatawpha Arts Council generously lets us use for second run screening. So if you missed the first film and you hear how great it is, you have a second chance to see it. But we're also doing a special screening there called The Rabbi Goes West, which is sponsored by the Jewish Federation of Oxford. So that'll be a really lovely conversation. So all day Saturday, there'll be movies there as well. And then the Oxford Conference Center is also letting us use their space for a couple of movies. So we're really excited to sort of be able to expand the festival a little bit.
So let's get the places down, because last year we were at the Powerhouse, the Malco, the Ole Miss. Where are we this year? Start Wednesday.
So we've made it easier where the box office starting Wednesday is at the Malco Commons, and we actually have our first movies there Wednesday night. So we start at Malco and end at Malco. Thursday is a little crazier because we have free movies all over the campus of Ole Miss. And then we, of course, have our big night at the Ford Center. We then go back to the Malco, though. So we're at Malco every day a little bit. That late night, we're going to have a movie. Then Friday through Sunday, Malco all the way, along with a couple locations like the Powerhouse and Conference Center. But we will have shuttles running so people can easily get to where they need to go. We have several free events every day. So if you cannot afford anything, you can still go and be part of the festival. However, you can also buy a single ticket for $10. Or if you want full access and first seating and food all weekend and get access to the parties, the VIP pass is $175. Unless you have a student ID, then it's only $50, which is a steal. Amazing artist Ann Scott Barrett designed the poster last year with the shoes, and then again this year. And she basically asked me, what does 17 mean to you? And I was like, rebellion. So she just went and did like a cool spray paint wall style, and it fits perfectly with what we're doing. So yeah, she's a great, and she does it all by hand. And then we get it digitized from that. So, and then Blue Clock Designs does all the finishing touches for everything we do. So they're an amazing team of designers. It's really exciting having films from all over the world, but really what really touches me and what is really great is really supporting our Mississippi filmmakers. We have several with duplicate projects. Maggie Bushway, who just recently graduated from Ole Miss, but is from Tupelo. She has 2 films. Glenn Payne, who's a regular at our festival, has a couple films. And we're really excited because he and a couple other Mississippi filmmakers are competing for the $15,000 for the Artist Vodka competition. We changed it this year because we saw so many great submissions the first 2 years, and we would pick one winner and be like, okay. And we thought, wouldn't it be more fun if the audience helps us decide the winner? So now we pick 21, the top 21, because you have to be 21 to drink. And the audience watches those films and then votes, and they get 50% of the vote along with the jury on who gets the money. So, I'm personally gunning for like a Mississippi filmmaker to win that kind of money to help them. But, there's people from all over the world competing, so it's really exciting. Oh, yeah, such a great film. And I think they did really well. They played all over, really successful. So I was really excited to see that. So this year, Glenn has 2 short films, no features, but they're pretty good. So I'm excited. Yeah, so Christina Huff has a film in the LGBT about drag queens from Tupelo. So I'm really excited about that. We have John Rayer Afamazaga. He's won before with a feature. He has a short film about people in recovery in North Mississippi, which is great. Maggie, Glenn, I'm probably forgetting somebody. Mary Knight, who is a recent graduate of the MFA program at Ole Miss and also cuts her video trailer every year. She's fantastic. She actually has 2 films, so I'm really excited about that. One is about a couple musicians in North Mississippi called Singing Out, and then another one is called Dear Hubert Creekmore, which we actually gave a grant to last year to get it made, so we're excited about that. Oh, Jonathan Smith is a great one. He has 2 films too, I think. No, wait, that's wrong. He has one, Sweet Sorghum, which is a delicious film, and we love it. Jamanda Roy, she recently graduated from Ole Miss, so she's now in Jackson, but she was a local at the time, and she has a film called Getting to the Root about Black female hair, and it's really great. It's a wonderful film. It's harder now because there's so many more Mississippi filmmakers, but I love it because there's so many more Mississippi filmmakers, so we get to highlight more and more, So I became executive director in 2015. Clock. Upside down clock. Yeah, so that festival actually was still, all of the volunteer co-directors were together, and then they quit right after that. So I took over right after that festival. But I was involved from year 2 on in some way. We liked the visual of that because it was our 12th annual, so you could see the 12. Otherwise, you had to have the whole clock. It was really just a space saver. I know that's not very interesting. Yeah. It's been great because we've had different artists almost every year. Sometimes we keep with the same one for a couple of years, and they always just have a really interesting interpretation of what the film festival is.
16's right beside it.
Yes, there it is. Yeah. I realized we'd never really done a movie reel or camera on any of our posters. I was like, that seems like an obvious one. So that was sort of the crazy, trying to shake it up a little bit. This is our new festival, new direction look. Yeah, so it's fun. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think 2017. I don't even know. Oh, that's the big one up there. Yeah, so that year we wanted to sort of represent all the different badge colors because the festival's made up of an entire community, not just filmmakers, not just sponsors, not just volunteers, but everyone. So those are all the different colors of the badges of people that are involved. Year 18, we just really loved. There's a local artist, J-Man, and he had this Faulkner-esque, it's not exactly Faulkner look, and we just thought it was fun. So our award ceremony host even dressed up the same way, and it was cute. So. And then last year, it was our 16th, so we had Converse and jeans, trying to be teenage-ish. And I think my favorite poster is this year's, though, with the spray paint. So it's just fun to sort of have different artists involved because that's the point of film, is it's a collaborative art. We work with visual artists, we work with musicians, we work with all kinds of different creative people. And so getting to highlight their talents throughout the festival is crucial.
We are looking forward to having fun this year at the festival. We did I just hate that that was my first year to be involved with it because it was so much fun. And we're looking forward to it this year. Tell people again where they can get their tickets, the website, all that stuff.
You can get tickets in advance, oxfordfilmfest.com. There's a link to buy tickets or look at the schedule. You can always, if you are having trouble in any way with the website, you can give us a call at our office, 877-560-3456. It's also on the website if you don't remember it. And we can help walk you through the process. We can meet with you. Our physical box office doesn't open until the week of the festival, but we do have an office year round that you can come to and we can help you. And then I really don't recommend waiting until the actual festival to start trying to buy tickets because we're a little ways out right now and we already have several films that are like 25 to 30% sold out. So it's going to be busy. So, but if you buy a pass, all the tickets are free and you can claim them in advance so that you have a reserved seat, or you can walk up 5 minutes before the film and see if there's a ticket left and you can buy it on site. And, I can't handle that kind of stress, but if you can, you can do it. Yeah, it's easy. Literally, you check at the door, and if they have a seat left, you slide your card or whatever. It's very simple. So we have many, many different ways for you to be able to secure a ticket. But I really do recommend if you have a student in your life, that $50 pass gets them into everything, and it's a crazy deal.
So thank you for joining us here today on From the Heart. We thank you, Miss Melanie, for coming in and being with us, and actually letting us come to you. I know. So we hope you'll join us again on From the Heart, and we hope you have a good day.